welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we will be doing 10 queer reads to read this Pride. Now I tried to pick some books that weren't necessarily the most popular, most well-known, some underrated reads in my opinion, so hopefully you'll find something new here. I like to think I came up with a good mix of genres and styles. I have 3 graphic novels, 4 romances, and 4 fantasy. I do have a lot of YA here, and I do think I have a decent, well, a small amount of adult, some spice thrown in here or there, but I'm going to start out with the graphic novels. The first book or graphic novel that we are starting out with is Other Ever Afters, or New Queer Fairy Tales by Melanie Gilman. As the title says, this is a collection of queer fairy tales or fables. This is marketed as a young adult book, but I definitely think this could be a middle grade book because it's essentially just a collection of, I think, about 7 or 8 graphic or like visual fairy tales that kind of tell different queer stories or different like plot lines. I know, for example, Dead Naming is a specific story in here. That is a story in here that you may look at. So this has a collection of different queer representation here, but I think it's fun. It's a cute layout. I definitely think out of all the books in here, except for maybe the one after me, this is probably geared towards the youngest reader, but I think this is the most universal read of all the books I'm showing you. Then I have The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wong. This one is probably one that you've seen here and there. I don't think it's a very unknown book, but definitely compared to some of the other queer graphic novels, this one I feel like doesn't get as much love. This book follows Prince Sebastian, who all he wants to do is wear dresses, but all his parents want him to do is get married to a woman. And you know, both of those worlds sort of collide when he hires the new dressmaker. And you know, graphics are pretty. This is a young adult book, and I gave this one 4.25 stars. Definitely a quick, fun, easy read for those out there. Then one that I read on my Kindle, it's Mooncakes by Suzanne Walker and Wendy Zhu. This story follows werewolf Tam, who returns to their childhood home and seeks out their childhood love, Nova, who is a witch, to help them fight off the demon and the cult that is trying to use their werewolf powers against them. This one I think might be one of the longer graphic novels that I'm recommending. It might be the longest. It's over 200 pages, 250 pages, around that one. This one is a cute, like, cozy, fantasy-esque queer vibe. You have one non-binary individual, and I'm not quite sure of the sexualities, but you have a bit of a sapphic sort of romance going on. You just have a lot of queer representation here, and I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars, so highly recommend this one, and I could find the copy on Kindle, so if you have Kindle Unlimited, this one might be for you. Now we are moving into the romance section, obviously one of my favorites. First up, we have Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley. This is a YA romance that follows Dylan, who is a server at his aunt's restaurant, and while out and about serving someone, delivering food, things go awry and he meets the rich Theo Summers. And a friendship sparks from there, and then Theo's like, I need a date to my family's wedding. And Dylan's like, well, I can be your fake date. And, you know, fake dates and mooncakes later. Things go about there. If you are a fan of food, this one is for you. This one was a cute little short read. I think it's under 300 pages. It is a YA romance, and I ended up giving it 4.25 stars. So if you're looking for something cute, short, and sweet, there is no spice in this one, so this one is definitely a spice-free option for you. Although there definitely is a interesting, like, bedroom-esque scene that's kind of awkward, but it's not spicy. I just, you know, kind of remember it. Next up, we have one of my favorite reads of last year, which was Never Been Kissed by Timothy Janofsky, and I actually found out that this was his debut novel, so props to you for this very great masterpiece in my opinion, and I ended up giving it 4.75 stars when I read it last year. So basically, if you're looking for a gay to all the boys you've loved before, this is for you. So essentially what happened is Ren has an email backlog of all of his love confessions to his past crushes, and one drunken night he sends those emails out, and lo and behold, he ends up having to work the entire summer alongside one of those crushes he emailed. And you know, things ensue from there. This does feature demisexuality rep as Ren discovers that he is demisexual throughout the story. It's also got a cute like underlying subplot about movies in here, and it does feature like a bit of a bisexual like woman, like film woman of history, and it's a fun time. So if you're looking for that one cute, short, quick read, this one's under 300 pages, and I think that'd be for you. The last one I recommended was a new adult, so the next two are going to be adult romances. So first up, we have a sapphic recommendation, which is from Kindle Unlimited, and that is Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. So this story follows college and professional rivals Noah and Sage, who are both hired to work on a new comic together. And let's just say the rivals to lovers just kind of works its way out. And that's where that ends. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. It features a lesbian lead and a bisexual lead. So if you're looking for some of that representation, this is here for you. And it was just a fun, it does have some emotional parts to it. So someone is dealing with carpal tunnel syndrome, and then we have the other parts of family dynamics and being an older sister. And this one is for you. Yes, there is spice in this one. Then Teacher of the Year by M.A. Wardell, probably the spiciest book I'm going to recommend today, which is interesting because I would guess that well, in my opinion, his book after this one is much spicier. But Teacher of the Year, nonetheless, is our spiciest rec of the day. And this is an adult queer romance following an out gay teacher, Marvin, and a discovering himself, or a bisexual man discovering his bisexuality. So essentially, kindergarten teacher Marvin starts falling for the dad of one of the new students in his class. And this dad is starting to discover or rediscover his sexuality post divorce and, moving. And that one's fun. It's a really fun, spicy time, and that's pretty much how I would describe his entire works. So if that's what you're looking for, this one is for you. I actually lied, there's only 3 fantasies in this. I don't know where my math went from there. But the first fantasy that we're going to be kicking off this portion with is Out of the Blue by Jason June. Now, you've probably heard of Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June, which I absolutely loved. 5-star read for me. This is another one of their books, which is a more romantasy-esque thing. I definitely say this more is a romance book with a fantasy subplot to it, but nonetheless, a fun, great time. So essentially in this book, you are following Merperson Crest, who is sent on their journey above sea on land, and during this journey, or this month-long journey, they must help out a human in some way. And while they are on land, they discover that Sean is having some dating troubles. Sean was recently broken up with their longtime boyfriend and is trying to figure out how to get him back. And so Sean and Crest agree to fake date, and while they are along this fake dating thing, they might have a fun time. While this is marketed as YA, there is spice in this story, so keep that in mind. I ended up giving this book 4.75 stars. I still think I like Jay's Gay Agenda more, but this is a fun time. It has a non-binary merperson lead, and it has 2 queer main characters, as well as a sapphic relationship, like sapphic parental relationship from one of the other characters in the story. So if you're looking for that little like romantasy-esque thing, this one's for you. Then we have The Ones We Burn by Rebecca Mix. This one I feel like has been out and about on for a while. The special edition I have actually has a bonus novella in the back. So the entirety of this book focuses primarily on a sapphic relationship, but there is a little like Achillean relationship going on, and you kind of see that in the back of the book come to fruition. So essentially this is a standalone fantasy that follows Blood Witch Ranka, I believe that's how you say her name, who agrees to go marry the Sunra King Galen. Only plot twist, she's actually going there to kill him. And while she is in the Sunra Kingdom, she is seeking out answers as to why blood witches are all of a sudden going crazy and dying out. And, she may be falling for the king's sister along the way. So, yeah, this was a fun read. It definitely took me a minute to get through, and I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. So, yeah, definitely if you're looking for a standalone fantasy, this one does have some gory moments in it, if I remember correctly. So, keep that in mind if you're not a fan of the gore, but there is no spice in this one. It is young adult. Closing out with the most recent release on this list, which is So Let Them Burn by Camila Cole. This is a Jamaican-inspired fantasy that follows two queer sisters. One is asexual and one is a lesbian, so we have some more asexual and sapphic representation here. Farron, who is the chosen one, is going to stop at nothing to save her sister from the Dragon Rider bond. And along the way, both her sister and Farron have a romance that blooms between them. And did the romance have me hooked? Yes. The Dragons War is a fun side plot, but definitely excited. The cliffhanger basically has me excited to see where it goes. Obviously, this just came out this year, so I'm going to have to wait to see where things go from there. But this was just so interesting the way it started, because it started out 5 years after the Chosen One had gone to war, like 5 years after the war ended. So now the Chosen One is once again asked to do it, and it kind of focuses a lot on how children are affected by war, and it's focusing on colonization and how that affects their surrounding communities, and just sort of how children and young people are affected by the powers and the carelessness at be from adults and war and such. And yeah, good read. I ended up giving it 4.75 stars. So if you're looking for that one, if you're looking for a queer fantasy, I would recommend. So those are all of the queer reads that I am recommending that I have read so far for this Pride. I definitely have a long list of things to get through this month and just for my current reads. So leave your favorite recs for Pride in the comments down below and let me know what rec videos you'd like to see next.